All right. So what's up, man? Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, nice seeing you again.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun a couple weeks ago. That was I really enjoyed that. I felt like we could have done that for several days and just had a blast.
I would love to do that. I never laughed so much in my life, man.
Yeah, watching the video when you release it is funny because you can see on some of the clips you can see a little bit of shaking, and I almost feel like that's you laughing back
You
there.
noticed that. That's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to contain myself. I'm like, I'm shaking the camera, damn it. Especially when I was in the back of the car and you're getting that guy. I think it's the second clip in the video that we did. He you're going like, I'm like, I was losing it, man. I was losing it.
Oh, great.
But yeah, let's explain to people what you do. You're double talking. What is double talking?
Well, double talking is, see, when you come down, always you're going to have where you do like the thing where you have like a little descriptor, and when you get these things set, you always have a while where you come down, you use these words, and oftentimes you can bring in a pause and they came down, and then you wonder, is it something that they do? And
I don't know.
it's the age-old question. Double talking is something I learned as a kid, man. I was as people will see if they haven't seen the video yet that you did. As a kid, I was inspired by this fellow by the name of Durwood Fincher. He's the original double talker. In fact, he was named Mr. Double Talk. And, just growing up as a kid watching him, I just started doing it around the house. And I think my parents were like, Luke, you're really good at that. And of course, as with anything, as you get older, you get a little better. And but yeah, man, you're just basically taking words and vowels and you're kind of jumbling it all together, and you make it sound like whoever you're talking to, they're saying something, and you make, oftentimes, in fact, probably 10 out of 10, or 100% of the time, the other person feels like they're the one that they don't have their head right. They're thinking, oh my God, have I not getting good sleep last night? Or they feel when they're talking to me. And it's funny because I know the video we did, it's like I'm a public pranker, and I guess you could say that I'm always doing public pranking and stuff, but really and truly I do this all the time, man. I mean, like at the table when I order my food, in the airport, and I'm constantly double talking people just because I really enjoy watching people's reaction, just watching them just freak out. I did it yesterday. I sat down to eat at a restaurant, and I was with two people that work in the company that I work with, and they ordered their food, and it got to me, and I ordered, and then I had a question about the item I ordered, and I double talked the question, and the lady, she had her mask on, right, and she was like, I could see her eyes just do this, like she was like, whoa, am I having a stroke? It's like genuinely concerned about her cognitive ability in that situation. And the people, of course, at the table were about to die. They were laughing so
They
hard.
knew that you could do that?
Yeah, they did. I have they know of me and are aware of stuff I do.
Yeah, I think it's so, like, once you know what you're doing, like if you're on the inside joke part of it, I mean, it's just so funny to see people's reactions. Like, a lot of times people do try and help you. They're like, man,
Sure.
can you say that again? Like, what? I think that's so funny to kind of see what people do, or they just stare at you like, am I losing it?
Yeah, and I travel a good bit with my job, well, pre-COVID, and it's funny, the reactions in the South are a lot more patient. They're trying to help you. When I'm out west or even up north, I have to tweak my accent some, because if I go to California and I'm talking like I normally do with my Southern accent and I'm double talking, they think I'm just some hick. They're like, where are you from, Louisiana? They're thinking I'm Haitian or something. So I have to kind of change my accent. I have to sound more West Coast, or if I'm up north, I'll talk like this. I'll come in with a strong New York accent, but I'm double talking to the same. So I kind of blend in, and they can't call me a country hick. They have to follow me. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's important too when you're dealing with different people. You got to kind of blend in with them if you're going to double talk. Otherwise, they'll just write you off as some idiot.
So not only do you do double talk, you do other characters, like the old lady, Dora Lee Gaithers.
Yeah,
So
Dora Lee.
who's that?
Man, that's one of those things where I just did this interview the other day, and they asked me the same question. And obviously, I would refrain here from saying exactly who it is because this person is still alive. But and if you saw this clip, I'd hate to offend her, but it's a lady. It's a lady that I grew that I that was around. But you know what, man? It's funny is really I tweaked it. I mean, she wasn't quite like Dora Lee Gaither's is.
Yeah.
You just in the South, especially, you run into this lady all the time. I mean, I could go to the grocery store right now, and I guarantee you, I'll run into a Dora Lee Gaither.
So, for people that don't know, what does she sound like?
Well, she's always flustered, and she never says her R's. It's always flustered. And she's from the South, and she's always got a little sweat mustache, and she's got short hair, and her tips of her hair sit right there on the fold of her neck, and they're always wet from sweat. And she wears a gown. Everywhere she goes, she wears a gown that goes all the way down to her ankles, and nobody can make her happy. It doesn't matter what you do or what you offer. You can't make her happy. The world is hers, and you're in it. And she just gets real upset real easily.
And so if I go through a drive-through or if I'm anywhere and I pull that voice, it's funny, dude, because my favorite ones are the ones that don't have cameras, and they're always yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, and then I get to the window and they're like looking behind my car, like where'd the lady go?
Like that guy did when we did that. He was. Yeah. God bless that poor guy, man. He was really trying. I wish he would have broke out of character a little bit, and like, what the hell? I mean, people do that. Like, I saw a clip that I put in the video is you ordered a drink and then you're like, yeah, it's hot out here. And she like lost it,
Oh, yeah. I was talking like a lady and I get up there and I still was talking like her. And I was like, it's hot outside. And she was like, it's hot. And I said, yeah, it's real hot. She was like, oh, God. She's like, man, it's just a lot of fun. I enjoy making people laugh. It's important today, dude. I mean, everything.
Oh, for sure. So toxic out there.
Oh, yeah. Before we started recording here, you and I were just talking about just how toxic it is. Even like you log on Facebook and everybody's trying to find something to fight about. So I just try to keep it light.
Yeah. That's 100%. I mean, I think what you're doing is bringing a little bit of laughter and light to people. And, there's people that try and say that you're, harassing these people that work at fast food restaurants. But every clip I've ever seen, they love it, man. Like, even when we went in the video, those people came out and they're like, oh, it's him, like they were excited to see you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't even hardly. Of course, I notice comments on videos that are like going viral and that kind of thing, and especially when they're not shared by me and they're shared by a third party. I like to see what people who aren't familiar with my work how they respond, and with everything you're going to get your hate. And there's the common negative comment that I may get on my stuff is, something along the lines of really appreciate you wasting someone's time who's making $7.50 an hour working. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, first of all, every interaction I can, honest to God, Travis, tell you that I can't recall, and I've been doing this a long time. I can't recall one instance where the person was upset or offended or felt like their time was wasted. And like I said before we started recording, a lot of times I'll throw them a $5 bill just to say, hey, thanks for being a good sport. I'm actually doing it. So it's like, and then they remember me. And when I come through to order food in my normal voice, they want to take pictures and they want to, ask me how my day is. I know their names by then. So what people don't realize is these people that are making comments about how, these people are working hard for minimum wage. These are often people that aren't working hard and being paid minimum wage. And the people that are working hard being paid minimum wage, and they're in the mundane, day of sitting in a window dealing with one belligerent customer after another, or one, whatever the day. It breaks the monotony, and I swear, man, they seem to really enjoy it. So I just keep doing it, man. It is what it is.
I saw, man, that guy at Walmart that you're messing with. Dude, he was so happy. I mean, first of all, he was happy that you weren't on drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
But he thought that was so funny, man. Once he because you tell him, like, oh, I'm just messing with you, and then he's just like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Yeah, and people, love the fact that You know what? I take that back. I did have one case where I told a lady it was a video and she asked to be blurred out. But most of them are jacked about the idea of being on camera, and they like to tell me like, where's it going to be posted? I'll go look for it. You know, people like, you know, the fame. They like the being viral. You know?
Well, it's because you're not doing anything mean to them. You're just, you know, playing with them. It's like if you're actually like some pranks are, you know, like physical or, you know, like a little more crude, or, you know, you actually do something that could embarrass them. But all you're really doing is talking, and then you know, like for instance, the booger bear. Like I love that, man. Like the old ladies, you know. There you go. So for people that don't know what that is, you know, maybe explain, or, you know, do a, you know, like booger bear. Like, I don't know how you say it, but
I roll up on old ladies. I love old people. I mean, no kidding. Like if you ever meet my mom and dad, you can ask them. Like, since I was a child, I've always gravitated towards old people. I think it's because they always are down to chat. They're always in a hurry, and they
have stories to tell.
They have stories to tell. And if they're older in age, they're flattered that a young person even wants to talk to them in the first place. And a lot of times they get older and they get forgotten. And so I try to interact with them as much as I can. But my thing I do, and it became like a little mini series of mine. But like the first one that ever happened, you know, all my stuff is on the cuff and on the whim. Like, I never plan anything. And so I put up on this lady at a gas station, and she was pumping her gas, and her white hair was like waving in the wind. And I was like, should I do this? Should I double talk this lady? Or, you know, I'd hate to really confuse her. And so I just, instead of double talking her, I just rolled up, and, you know, I'm driving, I roll my window down, and I'm like, hey there, Booger Bear. And she don't hear me. She just keeps pumping her gas. I said, Booger Bear. Hey, Booger Bear. And she turns and looks at me, and she's like, who are you? And she starts walking towards me. I said, Booger Bear, it's me. And she's like, who are you? I said, you used to cut my hair. And she said, I did not. I said, yes, you did. You told me when I get older to make sure I call you Booger Bear when I saw you. And she said, honey, I've never cut hair a day in my life, you know. And then we sit there and talk, and she gets to laughing, and it became this thing to where, like, you know, everybody started like writing in saying, hey, have you found Booger Bear yet? So it's like I'm looking for this lady that used to cut my hair. It's become this thing. And so everybody's like, you know, every time I post a new Booger Bear video, they're like, dang, not her. We thought that was her. You know, it's like this little running, but
that would be
harmless,
funny,
man. Yeah.
No, I was saying that would be funny if you actually found a older woman that was like, yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, that's like a dream. Run into like a lady who like got dementia or something. She's like, oh, hey, yeah, I do remember cutting your hair. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know how much. But what I was going to tell you a minute ago is, like, you were mentioning how it's harmless fun, right? And if you look at like pranksters, I don't consider myself a prankster. I just like to interact with people, and I record my conversations with them, because I think everybody. What I've come to realize, Travis, and the reason why I was so honored and excited when you reached out to me is because, you know, I did my research. You get these random emails all the time about stuff. And so I looked at your channel, and I was like, dude, this guy, this is interesting. Like, he travels the world and like the documents the most interesting people in the world. Literally, that's one of your taglines. Like, it's literally what you do. You find fascinating.
Try, man.
And I was like, this is amazing. And so I started wondering, why is he wanting to meet with me? And then I was like, okay, well, double talk, I guess that is kind of rare. And he wants to, you know, and so
it's very rare.
Yeah, but I believe, man, like what you're going after and what you're doing is cool, because you genuinely are finding the very interesting, fascinating, talented people out there. But like, if you think about it, and this is why I do what I do, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has a unique aspect to them. They are uniquely them, right? And everybody is interesting in some degree. You just got to dig and find it. And I feel like the reason I do what I do is not to prank people. It's not to make fun of people. It's not to any of that stuff. Because if you get on YouTube and you look up prankster, you may see people running around cutting people's ponytails off. And it's like, dude, that's so
well, lame. That would piss someone off and give them right to beat your ass.
Exactly. Like it's never my intention to upset anybody. What my intention is to awkwardly, and sometimes, you know, hilariously in some cases, work my way into an interaction conversation with someone. And then as I'm sitting there talking to them, you kind of get an idea of who they are and what they do and that kind of thing. And so it's just, to me, it's just highlighting the freaking colorful world we live in, man. And before COVID, the more I traveled, the more fun that was, because you really see some, as you travel this world long enough, you see some very interesting people.
Yeah, there's so many people out there that do very unique things, and not all of them are well known. There's a lot of well known people that just kind of suck. So it's like, I try to find people that are very unique and sincere, and or just doing something super amazing that I find amazing. So I, like like you're out there double talking, and as we met, Mr. Double Talk, there's only a few people that actually can do this, or do it very well, I should say.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, a lot of the fans write in, and when I'm doing my live shows and stuff, we can talk about that later. But when I do my live shows, they'll comment and say like, "Hey, can you just do a segment on teaching us how to double talk?" And
how do you do that?
Well, you can't. I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, a lot of times I think what they want is me to slow down and to see my comb balls, and I come around rocking balls, and I have like this thing set where you do like it's like a, and they hear that and they think, oh, you come down walls, you come down and I always say it was the members of the restaurant, and you come down with the centers like an app. And I try to slow it down, and they're like, whoa, back up. And sometimes they'll ask me to repeat myself, and I can phonetically kind of make it sound like something I said close enough to where they won't notice the difference. But it's you can't teach it. And like and then like anything, Travis, like, you go out and shoot things. Some days you feel like you're on it, and you're getting the best angles, and like your freaking shot is perfect, and the sound's coming in good, and you're on your A game. And some days I go out there and I do one, and I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, that sucked, and I just trash it. So I mean, it's like anything, really? But like, yeah. Oh God, yeah, man. Although I'll tell you this, did I send it to you? I think one of my better I don't want that videos happened yesterday, just because oftentimes we talked with this when we shot, like, a lot of it depends on the reaction of the person, right?
Yeah, that was amazing what you sent me yesterday.
Yeah, she was just.
If you guys want to find it, go on his. Did you put it on Instagram or TikTok?
I'm gonna do it. I wanted to let our thing live for a little bit. I'm gonna do it this week.
Oh, okay.
Probably tomorrow. But yeah,
go check that out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and if you want proof that this is not upsetting people, go watch that video. You tell me. You be the.
Watch any of them, man.
I mean, the lady's laugh. She can't even take my order. She's laughing so hard. So if you think she's upset by people, I got something for you. So
I mean, even when you do the other characters, or you're just meowing at people, I mean, you do so many things. Like those ladies that were the cleaners at the hotel. You're like, meow, meow, and they're like start meowing back at you. I'm like, what the hell?
Like, these are minimum wage people, and clearly they're having a great time. I mean, it's a lot of fun, dude.
I'm sure they love it. I mean, like, I talk to everybody, man. Bums, it doesn't matter. Like, I talk forever, so that's another problem. But like, I think when you're just friendly and you're talking to people and you're joking, like at Starbucks, you're like, thank you for my order. Like, dude, like, come on, people love that stuff. It's almost sometimes like they're afraid to laugh or break character because there's so much like, oh, if I do that, someone's gonna attack me or try and cancel me, or like. But then all of a sudden you come along and you're just like, brr. It's like, I think it like loosens people up, and it's fun.
Oh yeah, my favorite time to do any kind of character stuff or double talking is in a Uber or a cab. God, it's so fun. I'm as you can remember, so I don't like sitting in the back seats of these little compact cars, and so oftentimes I'll just ask the Uber driver if I can sit in the front with him, and I'll sit there and double talk his face off the whole way. Like, I never say anything that makes sense. I'm almost certain by the time I got out of the car, they're like, "What did I?" The best
and they're
part,
stuck there, man.
We can't do anything. The best part is these people will talk. They'll have a one-sided, what is to everyone else a very one-sided conversation, because I'm not making any sense, yet he's conversing with me like I'm making it's just a riot, man. It's an absolute riot.
Sometimes I feel like that like definitely when you're talking to people, I can sense that. Like, you can start saying things and then they'll just say something back. I've even caught myself, especially when you're saying bye, like, oh, have a good day, and you're like, normally you'd say you too. You're like, yeah, thanks. Like it's just like this instant, sometimes I don't say the right thing back, I guess, because I'm in my mind saying something, so.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right, man. So it's it's a lot of fun. And the double talking thing is something that's come on probably midway through my time on Instagram and stuff. It started out with the I don't want that thing. Yeah, I think it was when this group that did the interview with me asked me when that started, and it was I don't know if I told them right, but I think what was it, like 6 years ago, maybe Instagram started allowing video, and it was like started out at like 15 seconds. It was like all you had, and then it got
yeah, I saw the progression that you had of you did like that rocker type dude. I love that one. You should do that again.
weekend.
Yeah, and then I you could see the progression of the Dora Lee Gaithers.
Yeah, and that's me. Honestly, that seems to be a crowd favorite for sure. Like when I'm doing my TikTok shows and stuff, they love Dora Lee, man. Anytime I'm doing the prank calls, they're like, "Me, Dora Lee," and say you're out there in your gown. Like it became a little catch line. Like I'll say, "I'm out here in my gown and I'm trying to figure out why this cat keeps coming to my yard." And I'll call like a neighbor. Like they'll give me a number to their neighbor, and like I'll call that neighbor and say I'm so and so's aunt that's in town, and I'm out here in my gown.
I saw that.
These people come out of their house looking for this old lady in the yard. It is insane, man. It is insane.
Yeah. So talk about that, man. The live shows. You go on Instagram and you do a live show where people can give you a number for you to call someone and essentially prank them or do Dora Lee Gaithers.
Yeah, so it's actually on TikTok. We do the show, but it's yeah, man. I'll do a live, and I usually don't announce and plan these things. I just kind of like if I'm in the mood, I'll just like throw up a thing on my Instagram story saying, "Hey, go everybody hop over on TikTok." And of course, my audience is big on TikTok, and so I don't really have to do any. They don't even allow you to announce over there, but I just go live, and they all start trickling in, and it's funny, man. Like I'll be sitting there just if I'm just you and I talking or whatever, I'm just talking to the audience. It may be 100, 150 people, and then all of a sudden, the minute I make my first prank call, it's like I don't get it. They all start flying in. I'm like, why? So these people sit there and tune in, and they're like, oh, he's just talking to tune out. And then they check back in later. I don't get it, but they start flooding out. If I get on the For You page when I start pranking, I don't know how that works. But yeah, I'll do these live shows, and basically you can't communicate directly on TikTok unless you follow the person. So I just have everybody DM me on Instagram, and I have two phones. So I say, DM me on Instagram your order number. I sell merch, and so a way for me to cut out all because it gets to be overwhelming, dude. As you can imagine, you got that many people watching a show, and you open up your DMs for prank requests, hundreds and hundreds come in, and so a way to filter through that is in order to sell merch, I just say, hey, send me your order number, and I'll put you in the queue. And then I just go through those order numbers, and I check their request. They send me a number. I ask them for the person's name, the city they live in. Something interesting about them, and that's it. And they give me that, and we call them. We call them from a Google Voice number. They can't have my number, obviously, so I just call them from a Google Voice. And dude, it's just I mean, Travis, think about this, man. We grew up like we didn't have all this stuff, right? Zoom and Facebook and Instagram. We grew up. The fun we had at each other's houses as kids was prank calling people, right?
Hell yeah, Jerky Boys. You remember those guys?
Exactly. It's a classic, dude. It never. And I've come to realize it's still an amazing form of entertainment. I mean, during COVID and everybody's quarantined is when I started doing all this. And, it's just like we're all at a freaking sleepover as kids. All these adults have still not grown up. They still genuinely love pranking their friends, So for them, it's just like, hey, man, I get to sit here on live TikTok. And oftentimes the fans record the pranks through screen record, and they'll upload them to YouTube. And so if you get on YouTube, you can find all these things. And yeah, man, I'll call a number and they'll give me a scenario, and I'll call them and do exactly what I just said. I'm Dora Lee. I'm out here in my gown trying to fix this sprinkler head, and your sprinkler head keeps spraying me in the butt, and I don't understand why. I'm just making up stuff as I go, and It's great. I had one guy flat out cuss me sideways the other day doing this. I was like, I probably need to end this one soon. He's not too happy.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's like if you're an old lady, how are you gonna yell at an old lady? You know?
That's true. He did though. He did. He was from Rochester, New York, I think. And
Oh, there you go, man. He's not putting up with that shit.
that's what it was. He was on a date, and I was interrupting his dinner, and I was old, couldn't hear real well, you know. And he kept saying, "I'm at dinner," and I said, and I just kept ignoring it, saying, "Yeah, and I'm out here just looking around," you know. And he was just like, "Ma'am, I'm at dinner." He kept getting more escalated. It was great. The crowd loved it. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have a lot of success with that, man. And so, what are you gonna do now? You're gonna have a band in between, like a intermission or something?
So from the success of those shows, so like I said, I started selling these. I'm looking over this way because my merch is sitting there. Like I started selling these shirts, and I mean, dude, it's crazy. Like it's just been a lot of success as far as it goes. And so I was like, well, how can I take this up a notch, you know? And so I just thought, I was like, man, you know, I was watching all the late night show guys like Fallon and all these guys during COVID. They were doing this from home, man. They didn't go to the studio. They did their shows from home. And I was like,
yeah, what does that tell you?
I was like, yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I bet we're going to see this slowly start going to this. Like you're going to see more and more people jump into this thing. They're going to bring so I was just like, you know what? I think I have an idea. So I started coming up with this thing where at first it's going to be kind of a labor of love because my audience on Instagram is nowhere the size of TikTok. And so I have to do this show on Instagram because I'm going to be bringing in bands, just like you would at a real late night show. They're going to play, and
that's cool, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So it'll be a typical late night show, man. I'll do a little monologue, and then I'll jump into the prank calls. And between calls, instead of what we've been doing on TikTok, is I have a TikTok live prank call show playlist, and I'll just play that playlist while I'm getting to the next number and all that stuff. And people follow that playlist, and all that stuff. So I was just like, you know what? Instead of a playlist, let's go live with somebody, an artist, and have them play songs, right, until I go to my next prank. And so it's a way for them to promote their upcoming albums and
tour. Yeah.
And it's a way for me to promote what I'm doing. And we'll probably do, since this is going to be more done up production wise, we'll probably stick to maybe one a month on these, and then I'll just keep doing the TikTok, you know, every so often throughout the month. But as a way to kind of bridge that audience, you know, because I feel like they're in many ways two different audiences. So, well,
I mean, as you grow, like you said, people start venturing over. I mean, it seems like a brilliant idea to me. I mean, like you're right. You remember Tom Green used to do something like that too at his house. I mean, it can be done. It's not.
Yeah. You know, I hadn't thought about that. I totally remember that now, though. Tom Green had an awesome thing going for a while. Yeah, that's really good. I didn't even think about it. Dude, he's the OG, man. Tom Green.
Yeah, he started it.
I forgot dude, that guy, he's the freaking man. Like he was way ahead of his time. Really was.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean he's essentially, yeah, like you said, the OG of a lot of this stuff, because I mean he was out there doing wild stuff in early 2000s. 99, 95.
That dude's a riot. Golly, I forgot all about him. What he's doing today. Do you know? Does he have a show or anything?
He was just on Joe Rogan. I believe he just packed up his shit and he's doing some sort of, he's off the, you know, like off the grid. I follow him on Instagram. I thought I saw him post a video or something about him packing up and leaving. Don't know, man.
So you're doing a podcast now. I've noticed this is the thing. A lot of people are doing this. I was watching, of course, you and I are both, we talked about this, big fans of Joe Rogan. And I saw Steve-O is doing a podcast, and he's
been doing it for a while.
Oh, has he? Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Yeah, he's doing he had Mike Tyson on the other day, and it was really cool.
Yeah, Mike's a trip, man. I watched that one of him on Joe Rogan too, and man, that guy's,
yeah, it's crazy. Joe, I mean, I think Joe had him on like 10 months or 9 months before that, and he was a completely different person.
Like, now he's in that fight spirit, and like, God bless anybody that pisses him off.
I know, it's like he switches a gear, really doesn't. And Joe, I think, talked about that. He's like, in the intro, he's like, guys, I just saw him 9 months ago, and he was who he was then. Like, and now he's like, you're just afraid any like thing you say that's slightly off, he's liable to bite your head off. He's just, his whole mind changes, man.
Yeah, he talked about that. He said normally he's not by his family for that exact reason, because he's in fight mode. Like he's in the mode of I'm gonna kill somebody, So like, I mean, essentially as a fighter, I mean I love fighting. It's one of my favorite things to watch because of that reason, and just like how people like gear up and they become another human. I mean, I love like the Roman sort of stuff, and just that fight, man. Like, it's so crazy. We don't really have that now because we all live these. I go to the grocery store and get food, But I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Are you enjoying the podcast thing? Is it pretty fun or?
Yeah, man. I've only done a few so far, so I'm still learning. But I enjoy talking to people like this. I enjoy, meeting new people, thinking about different things. I think it's a good medium because, like in the video that we did and many other videos, it's sort of produced, right? So you can say things, but like when you talk like this, it's a hour or however long the podcast is of just seeing someone, hearing different thought processes. It's free talking. It's not sound bites,
right?
So just sort of like, a lot of people say when you listen to someone talk for 3 hours, you get a good sense of who that person is.
For sure. Absolutely.
Good or bad. So exactly. I don't really like to be on screen. I'm always the person behind the screen. So it's very hard for me to come forward. But like, I feel, I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but it's just something I think is necessary. I know a lot of people that are interesting, and I think it would be cool for people to just hear the conversations like we would have on a phone, but like here in person.
You plan to reach out to some of the previous episodes on your series and do podcasts with them? Or
yeah, man. I mean, I think I've done 170, so there's a lot of people that are interesting in different cultures, some things that people don't really agree with at all, and it might be beneficial for that person just to sit down and talk for 40 minutes on why they believe what they believe or why they do what they do. I'm pretty open and free, so like it doesn't bother me, but sometimes people, when they see something that they don't really understand or agree with, they have a reaction. And we see a lot of that on Facebook right now. People are very emotional. So I feel like this might give them an opportunity to explain why it is that what they do, or, and then people can agree or disagree.
You text me, you're like, man, I want to drop this video with you today, but this is the night after the debate. I'm kind of nervous that people are going to be in a weird mood,
It's true. It's true. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try not to talk about that sort of stuff because it's, people are so conflicted, or people are so emotional. It's hard to tame those emotions. And the other thing is hard is you don't know what to believe. So I just hope and pray things get better. I mean,
yeah,
who really knows, man? That's why I'm saying like what you do is so important, because there's a lot of things that are toxic out there. And when someone comes across your Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, and you're just out there, even in these crazy times, having fun, like I think that's very important for people to see those things, because everything's so toxic.
And so uptight. Everything's so uptight. You can't say anything today without offending somebody. And I imagine the life of a comedian was probably a lot easier 10 years ago than it is now. I mean, thankfully, and I'll say this, some of my favorite comedians just really don't give a crap. And that's a great place to be too. Like, who cares? Go freaking deal with it. Like, I'm going to do what I do. And it is what it is. Like, and that's kind of what I like about comedy. You just, anything can happen. The really good ones, if you watch some, especially stand up, like some of the best comedians actually don't even shy away from it. They go right after it, and
oh yeah, they have to.
find a way to make it funny.
Yeah,
Watch opening. You may have seen this, but watch the opening. This is for everyone else out there who haven't seen this, but watch the opening of Chappelle's new special on Netflix, the Sticks and Stones. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I've seen all of it, man.
Right out, you're like, should I want to laugh at this, but I'm not sure I'm supposed to, kind of thing. That's my favorite, man. I mean, it's just a crazy world, crazy climate we live in right now, with politically and socially and everything. But it's
yeah, the thing that I think a lot of these, businesses or famous people, I honestly, I cringe every time they start. The Rock just came out and said he supported Biden. I'm like, dude, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Why did you do that?
Who cares where you stand politically? Like, dude, just stay in your lane. Like, look, all right. So let's.
He probably lost a shit ton of supporters because he was supposed to be a Republican, man, and like.
Well, even if it goes both ways, though, man. Even if he's not a Republican and he's a Democrat, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Look, my friend, I genuinely mean this. I have friends from all walks of life. I've got Democratic friends. I've got gay friends. I've got straight friends. I will befriend anybody. I mean, look, nobody is off that list. But here's the thing. And I'm not telling The Rock or anybody like that, like, what to do or to not voice an opinion. I'm not even saying that. But all I'm saying is, I got some of the best advice ever from my dad. I don't know, like probably several months ago. He called me and he was like, Luke, this day and age, actually, I'm gonna hold off on saying that since it's kind of personal. This is gonna be all over the place. But the bottom line is, like, you don't have to like publicly like alienate.
Make a stance.
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, believe what you want to believe and vote how you want to vote and stand for what you want to stand for. That's great. And if you feel inclined to speak up, sure, do it. But why alienate so many people on something that's, I mean, we're talking about something that's literally going to be here and gone in 4 years. Like it's, I don't know, man. I just don't think it's a good business move. I mean, if I was that dude's agent, I'd be like, dude, why did you feel the need? I mean, I guess to his credit, I guess he feels like he needs to.
Well, some people say that, he has a large, a lot of these people have large platforms and they're just trying to do their part to whatever it may be that they believe in. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I say, stick with what you're good at, make people happy, bring joy to their life. Keep that other shit out.
Yeah, this is probably a little kind of a retro, maybe some, but like even like the celebrities who want to speak on political issues and like poverty,
man.
I'm like, dude, you don't know the first thing about poverty. You don't know the first thing about the struggles that these people are dealing with. Like, literally, I mean, to me, truly, it is. I mean, I try not to be so opinionated about this stuff, but it's really much nails on the chalkboard for me. I mean, just hearing so and so who's worth $100 million tell me about how awful it is to struggle in this day and age financially. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like literally, like, take your message and funnel it through somebody else. But coming from you is like, you're doing more damage than good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are waking up to that, and that's something that I'm very happy about, is people starting to understand and see through the lines of the media and all these other platforms that are just essentially bullshit, So that makes me very happy, honestly, because it's just, like you said, very toxic, and you don't know what to believe. But when you have these people that are super wealthy trying to tell you what to think, how to think, and where to think, but yet they're cozy in their little houses, or I should say big houses. It's just, if you're a comedian, make them laugh, man. Like, that's it.
It's I don't know. So, even more to further the point of why I do what I do, man. It's like you said, I mean, it's just, I just feel like the world needs it, man. I really do. I'm not some freaking hero or philanthropist. All I want to do is very simple, is just keep people smiling and laughing. And if I'm doing that, if I go through a drive-through and I can make this person's day more interesting, where they're going home from work and they're like, man, today was another day, but we had this one guy come in and he was nutty, man. I mean, he had me, I couldn't stop. But that's all worth it for me. I've had people literally write in that I've pranked. They saw their video and they're still laughing about it. You know, they're still telling, I'm so glad I found this because I've been telling people about this for like 2 months. Now I get to show them, you know.
They're like, oh, you're full of it. You know, they don't believe them. Then they're like, no, here it is. Here it is. Here's this crazy dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was sort of my understanding. And it's like everybody that we saw, I'm like, hey, check it out. You know, it's going to be a couple weeks or whatever, and go check it out here. And they're like, oh yeah, thanks. I'm going to do that, you know?
Yeah. We even went to one drive-through, right? And they realized who it was, and they all came out the back. All the, you know, they were all walking over trying to get on camera and stuff. So yeah, these people aren't running from this, and they're not definitely not.
Man, that's full of
malark. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so you know, tell people where they can find you, and
yeah, man. So guys, you can look me up at my name is Luke Goddard, Goddard, but R Luke Goddard is my handle. R for my first name, but R Luke Goddard. That's the same on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Luke Goddard on YouTube, and yeah, search me on Facebook. But I'm out there. Yeah, definitely come over and join the ride. A lot of fun things coming, and there's certainly more to come from all this. For sure.
You're blowing up, man. You're going viral on several Facebook pages that are huge, and I mean, I think people are starting to see what you do, and you know, obviously they love it because you keep, you know, people keep reaching out and they're like, oh, you got to come on this or do that.
Wow, man, like I've been like something my wife brought to my attention last night. We're lying in bed, and she was like, Luke, I'm really happy for you. Like all this recognition, because you've been doing this for as long as I've known you. Like she and I've been married for 11 years. She's like, you've been doing this as long as I've known you. You've been consistent with it. Anytime a platform is open up that allows you to upload videos, you upload. Like you've been really at this a long time, and finally, people are noticing. Isn't it wild that like, you can be doing stuff for so long, and then you just get one little break, and then suddenly people see it, and then voila, it's like. And then
that's how it happens.
People that go their whole life and are super talented, and you just never hear about them. You know, it's just it's crazy. That's why I love what you do, man. I keep up at it, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I will.
I'm a huge fan of your work, and my whole family is now at this point. My dad, I think he's seen every one of your videos so far. He sat there and like he watched them in one sitting. That's how fascinated he was. I mean, it's truly, man. I point as many people as I can to your channel because it's
Thank you.
Amazing content. Yeah. So I love it. I appreciate
likewise, man. I'm a big fan of yours too, man. That's why I wanted to come meet you.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was, and then, you know, the aspect of you actually finding new friends, that's got to be fun for you too. So I love it. I love all.
Yeah, that's the actually cool part for me is meeting new people and then keeping in touch. And, you know, like I told you, just reach out if you need help with something. I'm always happy to do that. It's just, that's something that's really fun for me is meeting all these different people and, you know, different backgrounds. You know, it's just maybe addicting, I guess. I don't know, but like
you need you need to do the podcast with the chick who eats the raw meat, man. You gotta get
trying to get her. She's busy, man.
Is she? Okay. That's some interesting stuff. If you haven't seen that, folks, go to his YouTube and search what is it they need to
Wendy
search?
Marshall.
Wendy Marshall.
Mm-hmm. She eats raw meat.
Yeah. Oh, it is insane. Thanks for having me, bro. If there anything I can ever do, let me know. And
yeah, thanks for coming on, man. This was great. I hope you keep blowing up here, man. I think you will. I honestly do.
I don't want to say it here for everybody to hear, but I have something coming in the mail soon. When it arrives, I'll be telling you. There'll be a part.
I want to see that. That's going to be another level of crazy.
I told you in private what I'm talking about. So
yeah,
it'll be insane. So I look forward to calling you, us getting together again. Maybe I'll come up your way next time. So
dude, come to Chicago and we'll bust that thing out. And
yeah, let's do it.
It'll be fun.
Cool. Thanks for having me, bro. Man.
See you, bud. Thank you so much.
Take care. See ya.
Bye-bye.